Hello everyone and welcome back to class today. As we've been working this week on our communications for businesses and potential jobs, it's important that we review and make sure that we fully understand tenses for the verbs that we may be using in these communications. Now, we have already covered some of the more basic tenses just as a review, but now we want to get into some of the more complicated and subtle tenses that you could use in a letter. So today we are going to talk about the difference between present perfect continuous and present perfect simple. Now, both of these actions have to do with things that have started in the past that have continued up to the present moment. Now, the key between these two tenses is very simply that one, as its name suggests, is an action that has started in the past and is continuing going forward. Something that you were working on or did or happened sometime in the past that is not only still happening at this very moment, but will be continuing on. Okay? This is why we have the present perfect continuous. Now, when you are using this word in your communications, you are most likely to be using it to describe something you are doing that has started previously and you are still doing. Perhaps it is an educational activity that you are doing. Maybe a club that you're involved in, or perhaps something you have been studying that you will continue to study in the future. You need to, though, to make sure that whoever you are communicating with understands that this is an activity that is still going forward. So when you are writing this, you need to have a very simple formula. That formula is the word have and a present tense verb. So let us pretend for a second that you are in a university and you are studying economics and you are writing for an internship with an economic company or an organization that focuses on that. If you are going to indicate that you are not only studying economics, but you have studied economics in the past and you will continue to do so in the future, you need to use this verb tense. You could simply say, I have been studying economics. If you want to tell them how long, you could say for however number of years. 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter. But what this says is that you have been studying economics for a certain number of years, but you will continue to study it into the future. This is different than the present perfect simple tense. The present perfect simple tense is used for something that has began in the past, but has continued up to the present moment, but now is over. You are no longer doing this specific activity. So, if you were, say, a senior at a university, and you were applying for either an internship or a job, and you were studying economics, but you were done with your studies. You will not be continuing your studies in the future. You would use the simple tense, the present perfect simple. And in this tense, you need to, similar to the previous formula, use the word have plus a past tense verb. So, with this, I have studied economics for whatever number of years it is. If you're a university, probably 4, maybe 5, depending on the diploma or the degree that you are working on. But you want to make sure that you convey the right meaning for yourself and what it is you have been doing. Now, you could say in a present simple way, I am studying economics currently, but that doesn't give a sense of how long you have been doing it and at what stage of the studying you are at. This can tell us at least that you have been studying economics for whatever amount of time, and it will continue on into the future. And this is telling us that you have studied it for a certain amount of time and you are done studying it. That you now have completed that aspect of your education. So, how this plays out in, say, a non-academic sense. If you were writing to a job or an internship and you wanted to describe work experience, if you were, say, in a job at the moment and it was continuing on, you would use present perfect continuous form. That form tells the person that you are not only have been doing this in the past, but you are still doing it, and you are currently doing it. However, though, if you have decided to leave your job, and if I could give you an example for myself, before I became a teacher, I was a journalist. I worked at newspapers. But then I decided to leave journalism before I had found a new job. Now, when I applied to other jobs, after I had left, after I was no longer employed as a journalist, I had to use this tense. I have been a journalist for 3 years. That told the person that I was writing to for a new position that I was no longer a journalist. I had stopped. If I was writing to them while still employed, if I had decided not to leave until I found a new job, I would have then used this tense. I have been a journalist for X number of years. These distinctions are important. They can give your reader a clear understanding of what exactly it is that you are currently doing versus what you have done in the past. And it's vital to use these correct tenses because they convey different ideas. So, what I want you to do now is I want you to take a look at these two examples, these two questions up here. I want you to write a description sentence for each tense. So you'll have 2 per question. You'll have 1 for present perfect continuous and 1 for present perfect simple. Your current work and how long you've done it. Now, if you're not currently employed, you can make up anything you want. But all you need to do, though, is to write present perfect continuous and present perfect simple. I have been working as a whatever for whatever number of years. Make it up. Or I have worked blank for whatever it is for how long. Second question is, what was your last degree or educational certificate? So if you were a student, you would either be currently getting a degree or have completed a degree. So this one's a little trickier because having a degree means that it's over, right? You have completed that degree program and the requirements. So this is going to take a little thinking. how would you use present perfect continuous with this, with a degree? You can't say that you have it. You can't say that it's yours. But you can use present perfect continuous to describe the degree that you are currently getting. Okay? So, everybody take a few moments, and write your sentences. Remember, 2 per question. 1 for present perfect continuous, and 1 for present perfect simple. When you are done, please put your pencils down, and we're going to take a look at what you got. And once you're finished, we'll reconvene and move forward. Thank you very much.